Subway, McDonald's, Burger King, KFC. These are all examples of successful and profitable food franchisee business operations which are happening in India. And you will see these outlets in different geographies, different kind of locations like malls, maybe high streets. And you will see all sort of people visiting these locations and contributing to the growth of these business opportunities. Okay, so this is going to be the topic for today. What are the things that you should consider when you create your own franchisee network? Hey guys, my name is Mayank Bhargava, a proper expert by profession. And before I started my business, which was in 2019, I was working with a company called Samsung and I was taking care of their brand shop operations, which is basically franchisee operations, their branded retail vertical, and because of which I got lots and lots of exposure to the way of working of franchisees. How do we expand the network? How do we basically do marketing, sales, generation, each and every aspect of the business. So if you want to create your franchisee business and want to understand what are the things that will go into creating a successful franchisee business, you can connect with me directly. I have given my details in the description box. Otherwise, like and subscribe this video if you're watching on YouTube, because YouTube will help you get more such kind of videos if you like this video. That's the way YouTube's algorithm works. And if you're watching on Facebook, make sure you like this video and also subscribe to, basically you can follow me on my group, which is Profit Masters on Facebook. Let's start this video without further ado. So let me share my mind map and let me take you through top 10 things before you create your franchisee business. Okay, so here is my mind map. And in case those of you who want access to these notes which I'm sharing, you can write in the comment box. I'll share high definition PDF with you. Okay, so let me start this video. First thing first, what is the basic concept of franchising network? So answering the question, what is a franchisee business? Then let's also look into top 3 benefits and top 3 shortcomings of having a franchisee business. Now, just imagine you have created a awesome business, right? You have created a beautiful retail store, or you are operating a shop, which is a concept shop kind of a thing. And you want to basically create the similar thing in different geography. Now, what are the things that you require? First, it requires you to be present across the geographies, which is practically not possible. Secondly, it will require you to inject a lot of capital, invest in a lot of capital. And third, you will also have to take care of the supply chain and sales process and everything for the number of outlets that you are creating. That's where franchisee operations come into picture. What you basically do, you sell your brand association to other people who are going to operate business under your brand name, but they are going to be independent business owners, very different from your business. This means you will be able to replicate your business model, basically going to replicate your business in different geographies where you are not present. And this particular collaboration or this particular arrangement is called a franchisee business network. Now, franchisee business network has 2 major components. First one is a franchisor, basically the brand owner, who is going to create the business model, who will take care of marketing, who will take care of the branding, who will give the processes, who will tell how the shop layout is going to be and all those aspects. And then there is franchisee, who will be basically owner of the shop, which is going to operate, okay, and who is going to infuse the capital in creating the shop, running the shop, and taking care of sales and daily operations. Now, franchisee is going to pay franchisee fee to the franchisor, basically to the brand owner. And thereafter, franchisor will also share, basically have a share in franchisee sales, or maybe depending on what kind of arrangement they are having, they might also be sharing some profit. Whereas franchisor will take care of the branding, take care of process, take care of supply chain mechanism, all those aspects of the business. So those people who want to create a business, basically those who want to start a business, but they don't want to go through the headache of taking care of the entire, basically all those small elements like decorating your shop and what color combination, how you should do all those things. can choose franchisee business operation, because franchisee business is a well-proven business model where you are going to minimize your risk by investing in it. Okay, so let's also talk about benefits and shortcomings from a franchisor point of view, which means if you want to create your own franchisee network, then what are the benefits for you? So there are top three benefits which I can recall of. The very first benefit is capital injunction without personal liability. See, what is going to happen? Someone else is going to come and open a store for you, which means they are going to lease the shop. They are going to basically operate the shop. They are going to basically purchase the inventory and everything, and they will be sharing uh, a profit or doing a sales sharing with you. So, which means your capital injection, the need for you to inject the capital to create such a network drastically drops down, which is a very lucrative option. It also works as a sales multiplier. Now, you know, it's a volume game. The more volume you generate, more profitability it's going to be there for you. As soon as you create franchisee network, basically the number of hands or number of feet on market, they increase, they multiply depending on the number of franchisee outlets that you have created, which means your sales is also going to multiply and your profit is also likely to multiply in the similar ratio. Okay, which is a very lucrative business opportunity for you. Third thing, and most importantly, market penetration. Your presence, your visibility in multiple markets is going to create a lot of brand value, lot of recognition for you, and you as well as your franchisee both are going to benefit from it. These are top three benefits which I had in my mind. But in case you can think of any other benefit, why don't you share in the comment section below, and I'll personally respond to it. Thank you so much. Let's also talk about some of the shortcomings from the franchisor's point of view. Now, franchisor has to ensure that brand equity is preserved, because the way franchisees are going to operate, it might create adverse impact on the brand. The reason being, your franchisee, they are not going to be your employee, which means you are not controlling them. The way they are going to run the outlet, it might have adverse impact on your brand. Take example, Subway. You go to a Subway outlet where you are not served really well. You are not going to blame the franchisee. You are going to blame Subway brand per se, right? That is what is at stake. Also, you have to understand basically change management, especially if it requires capital infusion. Over the time period, you are going to innovate, right? And innovation, any kind of innovation requires two things. First, change. Other thing, lots and lots of capital infusion. And if your franchisees, they are not connected, basically, if your core group is not very strong, then your franchisee network is going to fall off. And this is one of the biggest problem that people face when it comes to managing their franchisee operations. Okay, so let's talk about top 10 things that you should take into consideration before you start franchising. Okay, so let's begin. So these are top 10 things that we are going to talk about. Let's open the node one by one and let's get going. Let me just close the node first so that you are not getting distracted, and we will talk one by one. So the very first thing is you have to understand it is a new business. So this is from the franchisor's point of view. Franchisors, or basically the business owners, you will have to understand if you are opening a new retail outlet, or maybe you are doing an online franchisee business, whatever be your option, you have to understand it is a new business that you are opening from two perspectives. First, you are selling certain product and services. Suddenly, you are now into business of concept selling. So these are two very different business. And a new business, like any other business, it will have its own learning curve, which you cannot escape. So whenever you start with franchisee, basically creation of franchisee network, you should be very much prudent or cognizant about this particular aspect. that you are getting into creation of new business, and a lot of things which were happening in your previous business, the way of working and everything is now going to change. It will demand a lot of change, and you will have to basically learn a lot of new things. I can give you an example. Say, for example, you are managing a retail store. There you have manager over there. Okay. Now, managing a manager requires a very different kind of a skill versus managing set of people who are business owners. Okay. So these are two very different skills. The way you are going to interact with your franchisee, the way you are going to approach them, the way you are going to communicate with them, it's all going to change, and you should be receptive to this particular change. Otherwise, the brand which you are trying to create, its growth might get affected. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about the second point, which is be ready for change in operations. Like I have already mentioned, the most important changes which are going to come are going to be basically, you have to understand now you are not the owner of the other business, but they are your client. So you are basically your franchisee partners. They are purchasing from you, they are taking your services, and they are selling it forward. So it's going to change the entire ball game of how you are running the business. So you should be ready to change yourself in the context that I have just given you. Because if it's not happening, then believe me, the tuning between you and your franchisees, it's going to get affected. And if this tuning is not perfect, then your brand is at stake. I agree that the person has invested in your brand, but it's your brand equity ultimately which is going to get hampered. So just be cognizant of this aspect. Okay, let's move on. Third and biggest change which you are going to face is your sales focus is going to change from primary sales to secondary sales. Now, see, primary sales is very simple when you are selling to the first party, and thereafter, now primary sales is when you are selling to the first party. You understand this. Secondary sales is that second party is selling to the end customers. Now, you have to ensure that secondary sales also happens. A lot of schemes which you were earlier doing to drive your primary sales now has to be seen how they can drive secondary sales. Because if end customer sales are not happening, then eventually in long term, your franchisee is not going to remain profitable, which will have adverse effect on your business. So best way to grow your franchisee is to focus on the end sale that is going to happen and make sure you also capture that data, right? Next point, I for detail to retail. This is one of the mantra which I learned in my past company, I for detail to retail. Now, if you are opening a retail franchisee, then the location is of prime importance. Now, whenever you are going to create or select franchisee partners, they are going to operate in two manners, or basically a new franchisee location is going to come up in either of two manners. First, a franchisee partner will come to you and they will tell you that they already have a location. And then you are going to evaluate the location and see if it has potential to open as the new outlet for your business. This is first way. Second way can be you have already scouted for a location which is very valuable. Say, for example, an upcoming mall where you know high footfall is going to happen, or maybe a high street area where you know the successful business opportunity is already available. And then after scouting the location, then you look for partners who are going to come and do business as a franchisee in that particular location. So make sure you are not missing out on the retail opportunity. On the other hand, in the first scenario which I gave, where partner is coming and telling you that they have the already available location for opening a franchisee store, do not have a myopic vision. Location without footfall will not serve your purpose, even if it's a own franchisee location, right? A lot of time franchisee business partners are going to come to you because they already have purchased some location. They already have that location in their possession. Every location is not a good location for business. That's why I for detail to retail is the key when you are selecting the outlet. Next point in your journey, you will have to reevaluate your suppliers and processes as well as systems. Now, Operating one single store as well as operating multiple stores, it's a dynamics, it's a scale kind of a thing that you're trying to create. And if your suppliers, in terms of lead time, in terms of the quality of the produce, in terms of the processes which you are having, or even your systems, if they are not able, basically ready to take a future load, then it is now that you will have to reinvest or redefine your supplier, redefine your processes, redefine your systems. Once your business operation has started, right? Once multiple franchisees, they have already invested, and then you if start making all those changes, then not only your business is getting affected, even your franchisee business is getting affected, which will have impact on the relationship that you're trying to build with your franchisee network. Okay. So reevaluate your suppliers, reevaluate your processes as well as your systems for long-term operations today before you start finding your franchisee partners. Next thing, which is very important, clearly define geography-based offerings. Now, one thing that I have learned at Samsung very clearly, not all products are meant for all geographies. There are certain set of products which are very suitable for malls. There are certain set of products which are very suitable for high streets. There are certain set of products which are very suitable for tier 2 or 3 markets. So you will have to define very clearly what is going to be the geography based offerings. Failure to do so will mean that your franchisee partners are going to invest or block their inventory in the wrong product. And that is not something which you want, because it will eventually increase their capital infusion in the wrong product, and the churn rate that you are trying to generate, basically trying to achieve in order to maximize their profit, it's not going to happen. Okay, so always make sure, do a correct product mapping versus the market demands, and therefore your franchisees, they are going to have different kind of offerings. They might even you might even create different format of franchisee stores for different markets, which is clearly you will see companies like Samsung, LG, Sony, they have been doing, right? Next, define volume and profit generators. Not all the products are going to give you profits. Some products are crowd pullers. Some products are defined basically there to generate lots and lots of profit. So you should have clarity about it. Your franchisee operators should have very much clarity about it. More than that, the baseline team, the field team, which is going to work, your sales managers, as well as people who are going to eventually sell out the products, they should be very much aware. And the targets should be defined in such a manner that both volume and profit generation activity should happen, because volume is going to give you eyeballs and profit is going to give you that positive cash flow, which will make your business profitable. Eventually, you are doing this business to become profitable, right? And profitability of franchisee means more profits for you. Define success path for franchisee partners. So what are the different steps that your franchisee partner can take in order to become successful, and typically how much time it's going to take for them to reach a particular stage? Because if you have a clearly defined success path for franchisee partner, it will create lots and lots of trust in your brand, because they will know you know rules of the game and how things are going to turn up for them. Because eventually you have to understand, they are investing in your brand means they are trusting you, and in order to basically cater to that particular trust and make sure that trust remains solid, you have to come up with this plan. What are the things that franchisee can expect in their sales cycle, in their learning cycle, in order to become successful? What are the things they should be doing? Next point, which is pretty important, define success path for yourself as a franchisor. So franchisee business is one aspect, but eventually you will also have to think about what is success path for yourself as a franchisor. You having an independent business is a different thing. As a franchisor, how many franchisees do you need? In what all geographical locations do you need to penetrate? Which geographies are priority? Which kind of particular product you need to sell more? That's why you will have to find partners that have certain ability to invest, right? So for example, in tier 2, 3 markets, you might go for partners which are volume generators. In tier 1 and metro markets, you will have to certainly find partners who have good ability to invest in your product and services, as well as the sales campaign, which might be required in order to generate the traffic. Okay, so do work on their business plan, but also at the same time see how this particular growth is going to translate for your profitability, your sales, which is also very important. And that should be the baseline thing. You cannot ignore it at any point of time. And finally, think long-term success of franchisee. Because if you are having 100 franchisee which are not profitable versus you are having 50 franchisees which are very profitable, these are two very different equations which are going to have huge impact on your valuation, especially if you're going for fundraising or if you want to attract large investors in your company. Okay, so think long term success of your franchisee, which is basically the key of creating the trust and the environment in which you as well as your franchisee network is going to grow. Next, so these were basically top 10 things that you should keep in your mind when you are creating your own franchisee network. And let's talk about next steps. Basically, what I do, I conduct a lot of free trainings, and you can go to mayankbhargava.com. You can choose what kind of training you want to have. There are training sessions which are available for existing entrepreneurs. There are training sessions which are available for people who want to leave their job and start a business. You can choose the right kind of training session for yourself. Also, I do a lot of guidance calls, a lot of strategy sessions with wannabe entrepreneurs as well as existing entrepreneurs. So you can click on this particular link, mayank.link/my121. I'm giving you this particular link in the description box. You can check out, set an appointment with me, come up with the pertinent problem that you are having, and I'll give you the best possible solution for you to proceed in order to make your business profitable. That's why my community is called Profit Masters, because we are a little bit more focused on profitability. Also, I have created a Telegram VIP group for you guys, for which I will be giving out the link in the description box. Make sure you join the Telegram group so that we can interact with each other. And I'll see you possibly in one of the live sessions. Okay guys, so that was all from my side. Make sure to like and subscribe the video and this channel so that you get updates about whenever I upload new videos, right? So I'll see you soon. Till next time, stay happy, stay healthy, stay profitable.